Have you ever wondered why is Chinese sword not as famous as Japanese sword? Almost everyone knows the word katana. But I bet not a lot of people know the Chinese word for sword. To be honest, I don't really know the reason why. China doesn't lack any fancy blades, fictional or otherwise. So this video will just be an educated guess, a sneak peek in the philosophy of swords in China, and how swords are depicted on the silver screen. Spoiler alert, I don't think China cares much about swords. First, let's set the stage. Sword myths similar to Excalibur and Muramasa are not uncommon in China. The legendary swordsmith Gan Jiang and Mo Ye is fairly well known to the Chinese. In this legend, the couple were forced by an oppressive king in China to forge a sword. After the sword was finished, the king executed Gan Jiang, the husband, so that no more swords in the future can rival that of his.
你爹再也没有回来，王怕此事传出去，竟然残忍地杀了你爹。
Still, another sword was forged in secret. The wife, Mo Ye, fled, along with the sword and her unborn child, hoping one day the son may seek vengeance against the king. It's a fairly standard legend about swords.
有子欺人，莫为母心。爹，娘，恕痴儿不孝，痴儿无能，只有借助他人之手来完成了。
The cinephiles among you may also remember the Green Destiny. In the film, it's often referred to as the Sword of Li Mubai.
不准摸，那是李慕白的剑。
Indeed, Chinese sword culture is not that different from that of Japanese. We both have the concept in which a sword is part of a person's identity. And we can recognize a person by the sword.
不认得这两把剑吗？
不可能，我们已经杀了你。
But there is a slight difference. In this scene from the Japanese film Rurouni Kenshin 2, the villain explains that when two swordsmen are equally skilled, their weapons make the difference. The hero lost because his sword is weaker, and as he puts it, the sword is his oath and faith.
そんな子供騙しの刀で何ができる？
子供騙しではござらんよ。殺さずの誓い。酒場どうだ？
It symbolizes how his ideology is challenged. At the end, the hero wins the rematch by finding a stronger sword and having a stronger faith in the path he chose. Now, in the case of Green Destiny, the sword is indestructible. It can cut through other weapons with ease, but at the end, the weapon hardly matters. Fighting with a rusty sword, fighting while grinding the sword, winning a sword fight with a stick.
无主，无长，不应，不变，无知无欲，舍己从人，才能我顺人辈。
In Chinese storytelling, a swordsman's skill is often far more important than the weapon. In the Chinese novel, The Return of the Condor Heroes, the strongest character, whom we only know by name and never actually met, had reached a level so high that it ended up using everyday objects as his weapon of choice. I believe this has something to do with Kung Fu and its focus in strengthening the body and mind over the utility of fighting and killing.
师父说过，学武只是健体防身，绝无威风可言。
In a sense, weapons are just someone's garment. You can recognize someone through it, but at the end, it's just a sharp piece of metal. It may also have something to do with Japanese Shinto beliefs that everyday things also have spirits within. In Japanese culture, swords may be sentient, but in Chinese Buddhist culture, however, everything is an illusion. Ascending above material objects is a sign of enlightenment, hence, the stick thing. Ultimately though, I don't think Chinese people care about swords as much as other cultures. In the final battle of Jet Li's Fearless, the protagonist fights a Japanese martial artist with weapons of their choosing. The Japanese martial artist, unsurprisingly, goes with a katana. The Chinese hero goes for a 3-section nunchuck, which is technically a whip. The most recognizable Chinese weapon to the Chinese is probably Guandao, a weapon of the Chinese god of war. With the concept of 18 arms of wushu deeply rooted in Chinese culture, I think Chinese cinema simply prefers diversity. Swords, spears, paper fans, flying guillotines, threading needles, and whatever Jackie Chan wants to use. Now this is interesting, no?